Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. This is Cheap Comic Collector, episode number 116. Before we get started, I just want to take a minute to say thank you and welcome to all the new subscribers. We're up to 216, I think, as of today, and we just, at least when I'm recording this, and just maybe a week or so ago, we were at 200. So, thank you for joining us. Thank you. I hope you like what you see and you'll come back often. And really appreciate you being here. So today we're doing another What Am I Reading episode. And we're going to start off with another Convergence series. This one's Justice League of America. I'm working my way through the Convergence series. And some are good and some are okay and some are downright bad. So this one actually was pretty good. I enjoyed this one. This is Justice League of America, and it features the Detroit Justice League, who I remember when they first came out with the Detroit Justice League, and they were pretty much a joke. I stopped buying Justice League at the time because just nobody took them seriously. You know, you had Vibe and Gypsy, and they were kind of just a really big departure from Superman and Batman and all that. So anyway, this one is written by Fabian Nicieza. Nice. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. Chris Cross on the art, and it was actually pretty good. It's narrated by Sue Dibney, the wife of the elongated man. Excuse me, and this one is a little bit different because it takes place after the dome has already been put up. So they spared us the repetitiveness of the storyline somewhat. And so what we're seeing here is the Detroit Justice League trying to stay busy and capable without their powers. So it goes through some of that for a while. For most of the first issue, it's actually pretty interesting the way it was written, and it's got nice art. And so they basically get their powers back pretty much right away. It kind of starts out with the dome dropping. So they're waiting for the attack, and they're trying to figure out where these other cities is going to attack from. And then eventually the attack happens, and it's the Secret Six from the Tangent universe that is attacking. And they pretty much win. They for the most part they win. And if it wasn't for this is the second issue now, and if it wasn't for Sue Dibney, actually is the one who kind of saves the day by because the three heavy hitters, Zatanna, Martian Manhunter, and Aquaman were caught in a stasis field in the first attack. So she was able to free them, and that's what saved them from not losing, basically. But at some point during the battle, the earthquake happened, so nobody disappears, nobody nobody gets wiped out anyway. And that's pretty much it. It ends on a little bit of validation for the Justice League Detroit because they actually saved the day and managed to come through. And it was pretty good. It wasn't a major storyline exactly. It just it was well written and entertaining to read. So then we have next up from 1974, issue number 53 of Marvel's Greatest Comics. And this is a series where they just reprinted the Fantastic Four. So this one reprints issue number 70 by Smiling Stan Lee and Jolly Jack Kirby. And in this one, I have to jog my memory a little bit here. I read this yesterday, but I've looked at a lot of comics today. Yeah, so the Human Torch and Mr. Fantastic are tracking down the Mad Thinker. Was this guy here? This panel actually reminded me of Granny Goodness from the New Gods, is kind of what he looks like there, but or vice versa, I guess, since this would have came out first. But anyway, they're doing that. Meanwhile, the Thing is roaming the streets. He's mad. His mind has been altered, and he wants to basically kill Reed Richards for turning him into a monster. Some kind of a plot. I don't remember if it was from the Mad Thinker or something else, but he's not himself. So, and then Sue is kind of sidelined because she's pregnant, and it continues. You know, great Jack Kirby art, great storyline by Stan Lee. Nothing really gets resolved in this issue. It just continues into the next issue, and was continued from the previous issue. But man, what a lot of great art, great panel layouts. Just you know, those you just can't beat those Jack Kirby panels from Fantastic Four. And see how it ends. Kind of just comes to a climax with this thing attacks. This is some kind of android that the Mad Thinker has activated, and it takes out the Thing, Mr. Fantastic, and the Torch, which leaves the pregnant Sue to face off, and then that's the end of the issue. So great classic issue of the Fantastic Four, reprinted. Just a fun read. And from 1975, we have Wendy the Good Little Witch from issue number 86 from 1975. And I thought this was an interesting cover because of the monsters and stuff on it. The monsters are a little bit different. And it actually starts out with, like most Harvey Comics did, with an ad, which is unusual, but that's what Harvey Comics did it usually. And this ad here is actually for a dog action figure called Duke. So, you know, think kind of like Rin Tin Tin or something like that, but he's an action figure, and he has his own play sets and his little doghouse and stuff. Kind of cool. And then the ever-present ads for Harvey and comics that they have. So, Wendy's story begins with the lost monster. So there's this monster baby who's crying. So Wendy takes him home. And just take a minute to appreciate the design of this monster guy. Very unusual, especially for a Harvey comic. Very kind of underground looking, and of course he's actually basically a naked guy. that's roaming around this Harvey comic. So anyway, Wendy takes him home till she figures out what to do with him. Fibs to her Annie's that he's actually a sorcerer so that they'll accept him because they're afraid he'll do something to them. And then he basically starts eating their furniture, and because apparently that's what he eats. And then it stops there for a minute while they decide what to do with him. Spooky gets a one-pager about an echo, and Casper tries to help this kid out, but ends up breaking a window with the football. And then so Wendy's gonna help the little monster try and find his parents or his mom or somebody. And so they go through the enchanted forest, and the monster's creating problems. He eats down a tree, so there's birds that get left out of the nest, and he destroys the beaver's dam and stuff like that. So, and then eventually they find his mama, which is this little lady right here who spanks him. And just really odd art for a. And I haven't seen very many Wendy comics. I see her in Casper, but I think I only own one other issue of Wendy. So to me, this is a really unusual depiction of a character in Harvey comics. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's normal, but not as far as I know. And it's such an elaborately designed character for a one-shot story. They could have just made it pretty much a generic monster, but they put a lot of work into designing this guy. So anyway, then we have the unusual this is actually an ad for a Daisy BB gun. It reads like a text story, but it's actually an ad for Daisy air gun pistol or something like that. And then we have the Casper ads. There's that 1798 watch again, which seems like a lot of money for a watch in 75, and so on and so forth. We've talked about that before just a little while ago. Got some magnets here, which I've always wondered about these guys, because I used to get magnets out of a gumball machine when I was a kid, and I don't know if these are the same thing or not. They were kind of puffy vinyl sticker kind of things, but they had I think they had a magnet inside instead of a sticker. I might be wrong, and maybe they were just stickers, but I remember there being Flintstone ones and stuff like that. So I think they might be the same as that. I'm not sure. Anyway, more ads, records, Sad Zat Comics. And that was actually the last appearance of Wendy in this issue. So she's only in about half, not even half the issue, really, because even the one-pagers didn't have anything to do with her. So, and it wasn't even her supporting characters. It was Spooky and Casper. So Casper gets a story in the back called The Strange Power of Paul Payne. And so he tries to help this guy that's in the desert. He doesn't have any water. And there's some weird facial expressions for Casper, like this one, where he's encouraging the guy to keep going, and it's just an odd expression. I don't quite understand why they drew him that way, because it makes him look kind of evil, but he's not up to anything. So, not sure. The art on this one's kind of odd. So anyway, they end up in this castle, in this city, and Castle as the guests. For some reason, this guy can walk through walls. They're saying it's because of the magic fountain water that he drank. And they find the treasure room in the castle, and the guy gets greedy and decides he's just going to grab as much as he can carry and get the heck out of there. Casper tries to persuade him otherwise, but he keeps going. Then there's a Casper text story. And then the story continues. So Casper's reluctantly helping him get away while encouraging him to either give up or give the jewels back. And then once they do get away, the guy discovers it was all a mirage, that he doesn't have. He's got a bag full of sand, not a bag full of jewels. And of course, they don't explain, well, if that's the case, then where'd the bag come from? But anyway, that's pretty much the end of that. And that was the end of the issue. So, kind of an odd issue. Some more ads in the back, some more Casper ads. Apparently, they had a lot of Casper merchandise back in the day. Which makes sense. He had a successful TV series and stuff way back then. So, anyway, it was an interesting issue. It wasn't necessarily a good read, but it was interesting art-wise and fun to look through. And then last but not least, we have Silverblade #1 from 1987. So this was a 12-issue series from DC Comics. And just got this one in not too long ago. I think we took a look at the poster in the middle when I was showing it. And it starts off with a meanwhile column and a checklist of various issues. And I just wanted to read the description for Silverblade so we have an idea of what it's about. In this premiere issue of a 12-part series, retired... Focus. All right, hold on. Let me just grab my magnifying glass. You guys can look at the art. In this premiere issue of a 12-part series, retired movie star Jonathan Lord acquires the power to become anyone he's ever played on film. And it's by Carrie Bates and Gene Colan. And I've never seen Carrie Bates write anything like this. I remember him writing like Superman stories and stuff like that. So this was an interesting read. It was very different. It's kind of it's very much set in the film world, where this guy's a old retired actor who kind of resents his age and his retirement and so on and so forth. And he has a person helping him who was this movie poster here, Silverblade. So the main guy is Jonathan Lord, that's the old guy, and then Bobby Milestone in the movie, he was a little boy, but now all these years later, he's kind of Jonathan Lord's caretaker, sort of. And there's a few flashbacks, and there's this other team of people that you don't quite know what's going on with them. And it didn't clearly explain a lot of it. You kind of had to think about it and figure out what was going on a little bit. But it was good. Just not maybe as clearly written as it could have been for how convoluted a story it actually was. So anyway, these guys, the old guy, the younger guy that's the caretaker gets mad and quits because he's tired of being, the old guy is basically a jerk to everybody and so on and so forth. So, he ends up getting wrapped up in all his films here and stuff, and this is his origin, apparently, how he gets his powers. and there's some kind of mystical force that's communicating with him, and that's how he is able to get his powers, which aren't fully revealed in this issue. If I hadn't read that blurb at the beginning, we wouldn't really know what was going on. So anyway, they this other team of people kidnap the guy that was the caretaker, and then he shows up as Silverblade to save the other guy, and it doesn't really make clear how he even knows there's anything going on. But so it wasn't written as well as I would have liked. But it's Gene Colan art, so the art is fantastic. The obviously, the guy kind of made the deal with the demon or devil or whatever, and the poster is here. It just unfortunately I just pulled it out of its staples, so but you can get a better look at it. So, and this is this actually has the issue that it's a 12-issue series by DC and stuff, so it's kind of like a poster a comic shop would put in the store window or something like that. So, a very cool art, and it's a series I look forward to getting the rest of it to see what the heck is going on. And maybe once I get the rest of it, maybe it will make more sense to me about what is going on. And I'm going to have trouble closing this poster back up. There it goes. So, that's it. That's the 4 issues we're looking at today. My favorite of the 4, story-wise, I'm going to have to actually go with the Convergence one, to tell you the truth. I mean, they were all great. They were all, better than average. The Wendy had the interesting art with the cool monster character design, and of course you can't beat Jack Kirby and Stan Lee on anything. And the Silverblade was an interesting concept. So, I think I'm gonna go with, now that I've had a day to think about it. Because when I was looking at these after I got done before, I was like, I don't know which one I really like the best. But now that I've had a day or so and I'm going through them again, I really think I'm going to pick the Convergence issues, which is a surprise. But that's what I feel right now. So thanks for watching. Tomorrow we'll be going through another group of books from that Comic Stand garage sale. It'll be the part 4 of that series. I think there's enough to do maybe 1 or 2 more episodes even before we get done with those. So we'll be going through a bunch of books tomorrow. Thanks for watching. We drop another video every day at noon, and thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.